would be qualified. Does that imply education requirement? Like if it doesn't, then, and I don't quite understand that qualification. Secondly, with regard to county landowners, should that read home and landowners, or is it just landowners? Buckingham County landowners, if you see the. Does everybody have a red line here?
I don't have that
I
with me,
do
no,
not.
sir.
Okay, on 2.1, at least one half of the appointed members must be Buckingham County landowners. The question is, does that mean landowners and homeowners or real property owners, or what does that mean? And is it only landowners? I would assume it's property owners, regardless of the property.
Would be landowners. We do have our attorney, Mr. Wright, coming out.
Hi, Mr. Wright, how you doing? So I
Real
just,
properties, you don't have to have a home on it, you just have to own real property.
okay,
So, the other part is, that's words of the code, of knowledge and experience, that's Virginia.
so
What do
landowner,
they mean by that, they don't explain it.
okay, all right. I would also refer to, I believe it's 2.3 where you have your green. You said basically, you're talking about malfeasance, and what you did in your letter was reference case law.
Yep.
I understand that there are three kinds of malfeasance. I understand that legally speaking. Do we want to reference in your definition case law? Is it necessary?
Reference anything you want to, but reference anything further than that,
And we don't have to worry about that then? All right.
we need my
No, that's fine.
reference. Go deep into it as you want to.
Okay. Let me see if there was anything else.
Kapuscinski, did you want to ask him about 2.1, where you had the questions about knowledge and experience?
Yeah, what,
Knowledge and experience words right out of the code, we didn't make them up, come up with them, I copied them right out of the code. of Virginia.
so do we don't have to be concerned?
It's totally subjective.
It's, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I guess it's totally subjective. Okay. Well, look, I mean, I'm making comments like you are. It's totally subjective, so I don't know.
I mean, what I tried to do was put the requirements of
Okay. Okay, let me see if I have any other questions. Yeah, is there anything in the code, or is there something that we need to mention? If you have three or more members gathered, does that constitute a special meeting? At one time, it was you couldn't meet with three people. You cannot.
Well, you can go to a public, if you, the law right now is dealing with, if meetings are in such a state, the General Assembly is trying to fix.
Right.
There was an event that occurred in one of the Northern Virginia counties. Public body getting ready to have, I mean, a public organization in the public, not a government, that was having an informational meeting. They invited, I think it was the Board of Supervisors. Well, several members showed up in the from the Board of Supervisors, showed up at that meeting and engaged in some conversation. Now, the Virginia Supreme Court has ruled that that was a meeting and they should have given notice that they were going.
So it is.
Well, it is or isn't, depending on who says it and what, I mean, if, you will never be able to define every scenario in your bylaw,
All right. Okay.
is my opinion.
Okay, then if you go look at item 6, I believe, -8, here we talk about the person chairing the meeting will have a last call for any additional names to be added directly before the scheduled public comment. As I recall, we don't do that, and I'm wondering if we should. In other words, what happens are people sign up.
I think they usually call in the hall, so maybe we need to take the chairman. Taking sign-ups, you usually say last chance or something like that.
Right.
Usually it's spoken when the sign-up sheet is taken, and if anyone comes in afterwards, what we have done in an effort to monitor that is ask the chairman if they would.
Allowed.
So do we leave it this way, or what do you want to do?
I don't have any ownership of that, that's a policy question that y'all can decide.
Chairman?
I don't have a problem with it because what has happened in the past is some people, you know, especially if you have a public comment period and then a public hearing, they sign up for the wrong one. I don't want to penalize somebody that accidentally signs up for the wrong one.
I agree. I guess I'm just saying that I've seen situations where people come in and they say, well, you know, I'm 5 minutes late. I'd sure like to sign up, but they weren't allowed to. And I'm curious to find out if this gives you an opportunity to ask if there are any additional signups that are required.
I would interpret it as it does. If if someone was to come to me and say, well, look, I was here, didn't get here in time to sign up.
Okay, so at a meeting, my question is, do we, from your chair, announce, are there any other people that need to sign up that haven't signed up before we get this meeting
Are you
started?
inquiring in the meeting at the public hearing?
Well, before the meeting begins, or however you want to do it, because it says right here, it says the person chairing meeting will have a last call for any additional names to be added directly. I don't know if that meeting has to be started or not.
No, that, it should be 5 minutes before the meeting starts. Call for sign up, is what I think the intent was.
Okay.
Or even out there, they could say
Right.
last call for sign up.
Well,
It
should
could be,
audited.
actually, it would probably be a good, rather than me, it might be good for Nikki to do it. Just say, look, it's a time, if you haven't signed up, you need to sign up right now.
Yeah,
We can tweak your language.
yeah, one way or the other, I don't care, as long as it's audible. I mean, I think the people need to know that there's a last call.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
isn't it on the sign-up sheet that says something about 5 minutes
It is,
before?
yes, ma'am.
It's on the sign-up sheet, and when we've had meetings,
Advertisement for
there are
public
people
hearings.
who've gotten here, and it's like I signed the wrong sheet. We've had those instances, and we've taken care of those instances within this meeting.
All I'm suggesting,
what do you-
is that
ex-
it's audible. It's fine.
Okay, so if Nikki or myself announced it, is what you're asking, final call for sign up. Is that what you're asking, Pete?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Let me see if there's any other question here. Those were the only questions I had. Thank you, and thank you for answering.
Okay. Any other commissioners have anything they saw at this time? We have that one change, and we'll go put the language in for that, where either you or myself or one of the other staff just say, look, it's, okay. All right. If there is no other changes, do I have a motion to approve with the one change?
So moved.
Amendment. And a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. That passes unanimously. Okay. All right, that brings us to, George had provided two documents for us to look at and maybe add into our bylaws. One was conflict of interest and the other was conduct, correct, George, if I remember right?
Code of ethics,
Code of
code of,
ethics,
code
yes.
of ethics and code of conduct.
I'd had Mr. Wright look at them, and he found no problem with either one. And so I'm going to suggest that we go ahead and approve them, being that there's no legal issues at all. And they'll serve as a parameter that we try to operate underneath and within. That's just a suggestion on my part. I'll now open it up to the commissioners to discuss. Anyone have any opinion on that? Or accepting those into the bylaw? Yes, ma'am.
Are those documents in our packet?
They should be,
They actually were not included.
they're not.
in-
I was looking
Are
for
they-
them and I couldn't
Couple
find them.
packets prior to that.
You don't have,
I'll be glad to go get
yeah,
them.
maybe that would be good. I don't think Dennis has seen it.
You've not had a chance to see it?
Well, while Nikki's going to do that, I'm going to circulate this so you can take a quick read. Pete had provided a statement, and what I'd like to do is make that a mission statement, because it basically is what we're trying to achieve at each meeting in our conduct. And I think it would fit well to be a mission statement for the planning commission. We'd have a parameter set with yours and a mission statement. So y'all take a look at it, and while Nikki's gone to get those, and see what you think.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
as much as I dislike kicking this can down the road, I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read the code of ethics and the code of conduct, and, you know, the mission statement. So maybe we should do this at the next meeting. I'd like to get it done.
Right.
We've operated this far without it, and
Yeah.
I'd like to get it done.
Well, we
But I
could-
want people to be able to read and digest the information too.
Well, I'll let Nikki bring back
right.
those, and then we'll discuss it. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. If anybody feels like they need a little bit more time.
That looks good.
We've approved the minutes, and that's what we mainly operate. This is just,
Let me read the other, because
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, and then I'm sure it's good, though. If everybody else is good with it, just let me read over.
see if you would, go over that Pete Road, and so if you can say he'd look at it, we can, if you think you need more time to study, we'll make copies of it. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
so we're suggesting that as a mission statement, in addition to,
Yeah,
or as a replacement.
it's not a what Pete did is revise it a little bit. I'd asked him just to revise it, because I thought it'd be a good mission statement. Your code of conduct and ethics would be the parameters that would be accepted. This would be the mission statement that you're trying to do at every meeting, you know, to treat everybody fairly, all applicants basically, hopefully the same way.
Hopefully the same way. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes,
got no
ma'am.
pride in penmanship, but if everybody's ready, I'll make a motion to accept the mission statement the way it is.
Second.
Okay, the mission statement, all right. Have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the mission statement. Any discussion? All right, I better wait till Nikki gets back here before we take the final vote.
And that's with your copy that you have in front of you being the official copy?
Yes,
With
that
the
will
one-
be, I'm gonna give this to Nikki, and she'll put it into the minutes as well as the bylaws.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nikki, to bring you up to speed, everybody's read the statement that Pete prepared and revised for the mission statement. Pete has made a motion, JD seconded, we haven't voted yet, I want to wait till you got here.
For a
All
mission
right.
statement.
For acceptance of the mission statement, yeah.
I have included that for y'all as well.
Well, I'd already circulated the revised one, there was just a couple of tweaks. All right, we have a motion on the table, all in favor, raise your right hand to approve the mission statement. All right, that passes unanimously. Now, if anybody feels like they need some time to look over these two documents, we can postpone the vote on this to our work session and do it at the commission matters.
One comment, Mr. Chairman. On number 4,
On the
Matthews County,
Code of ethics or,
Matthews County Planning Commission Code of Ethics.
okay,
Number 4, seek to find use most equitable. I'd move to change that to equal and strike the word equitable.
okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I disagree on that because things can be equitable, but we're not. It's hard to do an equal, but you can do as an equitable and fair. You can do, or I feel I can do, but making things equal. Because I think we seek to be equitable in our decisions, but our decisions are certainly, they are not equal.
Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
in
Go ahead.
today's vocabulary, equitable implies a prejudicial decision based on one's skin color, one's culture, one's gender. It is not meant to be equal. It is meant to be prejudicial, and I do not believe our job here is to prejudice our decisions based on any of those characteristics. We just wrote a mission statement exactly saying that. So equal implies equal and not equitable. They are two different things, and I'm very, very cautious about that. And honestly, I will refuse to vote in favor of these if that word is in there.
How's the other commissioners feel towards number 4? Any comments?
I think equitable gives not necessarily a prejudicial outlook, but more on scope and size of projects as well. So as a planning commission, and I say this just logistically, when we're thinking about a small project versus a big project, that's what comes to my mind when I think about equitable. I can't consider them equally, but I can consider their impact equitably.
Okay.
I'm not talking
Right.
about treatment of citizens, I'm talking about treatment of projects.
Any other comments?
I'd have to look closer at the definitions of both words before.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
do we need to take these home and read them and study them more?
I think it's
And
probably a good idea. I've seen them and read through them, but not as thorough as I probably need to. So why don't we table this issue until our work session, and when it comes up commission matters, we'll decide whether to accept them and/or if they need to be revised to be accepted. So, all right. Seeing that then, that will bring us, Nikki, there's no new business, so it brings us to your reports.
I don't have anything to report to you at this time. There was a building permit report for your informational purposes, so you can those applications. Other than that,
Okay, very good. Commission matters of concern. Does any commissioners have anything they need to voice at this time?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, one thing.
Yes, sir.
I brought this up before the Board of Supervisors. I think it's necessary to bring it up in front of our commission as well. There are 3 bills that are either pending or passed in the state legislature that they could, if passed, have a very significant, create a significant wave issue as far as Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors work is concerned. And they are House Bill 636, Senate Bill 567, and Senate Bill 697. Now, 567 and 636 have been continued into 2025. My guess is that even if they pass, they'd be vetoed, but they could come up again. My understanding is that they will come up again in 2025. These bills relate specifically to solar. And if anybody hasn't read them, I will tell you what it says on those 2 particular bills, that the county will have removed from its ability to govern over the installation of utility-scale solar, and the State Corporation Commission will then take over. In other words, we won't have a choice, right? Now, those 2 bills have been continued, but there's a 3rd bill, 697, coming out of the Senate that did make it to the floor, and I understand it's going to be up for a vote, and my guess is it'll pass, probably get vetoed at the governor's desk, but then it'll go forward again. 697 specifically says, until the land under panels, now understand what I'm saying here, under panels equals 4% of the total land mass in the county, and we have 371,000 acres, then the county cannot pass conditions or restrict utility scale solar installations. The 2 things I would recommend for the commission here at this point in time is this. Number 1, we quit calling these things utility or solar farms. They are not farms. They're the furthest thing from farms. These things are solar utility industrial installations. That's what they are. Secondly, I would warn you that every time we put a panel up, we're not looking at the area under a panel. We are looking at the area under a panel plus the recess in between those panels. You're looking at the holding ponds. You're looking at the setbacks. So on an estimated basis, 700 acres of panels under, land under panels would probably require close to 1,400 acres in order to satisfy that particular installation. It could be less, but generally speaking, it's twice the size of the panel. So if you're looking at 4% of the county land, you're looking somewhere between 12 and 15,000 acres if you don't count water land, all right? 12 to 15,000 acres would probably translate in anywhere to 25 to 30,000 acres of required solar installations before the county has any say in them. Now, I'm suggesting to us that there is a position we should take. I suggested that to the board as well. Mr. Davis, you heard me say it. I don't know how to do that. I don't know where it should come from, but I will tell you that we ought to have a resolution in this county that we will make our own land use decisions. It starts with solar, but I will tell you this is an egregious overreach of state government telling counties what they can do with their land. This is county business. We may want solar in our county, but we want to make those decisions. We do not want some northern legislator who probably doesn't even know where Buckingham is to tell us where and how and when to put solar utility industrial sites on our property. That's my concern. I'll open it up for conversation.
Jeff? I will tell you that I've talked to Mr. Wright in regards to this, actually this week, and he will prepare a statement, but he wants to discuss it with the Board of Supervisors, because that's where it needs to come from, not the Planning Commission. We can put our voices, add to it, but it really comes from the Board of Supervisors. So it'll be up to the one or more of the Board of Supervisors to, question or ask Mr. Wright to prepare the statement, and then it would, it would be voted on by them.
I appreciate that, sir, and I also would appreciate if somehow the commissioners' names are on that as well. I did speak.
I think that we could do that. We could attach to it.
Yeah, I spoke to both Tom Garrett and John McGuire about this whole thing, and both of them are no votes, they understand. But Tom did tell me, he says it did make it to the floor, and he said, I can't guarantee it's not gonna get passed.
Yeah, understandable.
That is a real, that should be an absolute concern to us, because I will tell you, it starts with solar. What comes next?
You know, and that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
And
sir.
my opinion on that, if that passes and comes to tuition, it's no need for this board, and it's no need for a board of supervisors, because the state's gonna make all of this.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, no, can't disagree with that.
Buckingham County needs to decide what goes in Buckingham County, not Richmond or Northern Virginia.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
if I remember correctly, we've had other county issues being addressed by counties and representatives out of this area. And I'm thinking, when we're talking mining issues, I'm thinking when we talked about the Dominion compressor issue. So that is not a new issue when other people within the county do what I call an end run and have somebody out of the area try to decide what's going on in Buckingham. So, you know, I do agree, Buckingham should run Buckingham's business and not be decided by somebody out of the area, which may not know that Buckingham is the geographical center of Virginia. But, and so I disagree with people outside running Buckingham's business, but it's not the first time that it has happened. It is not new, and it has been used over and over within this county.
No, I don't disagree with that, and I think everybody probably feels very much the same. You don't want, it should be a locality making the decisions on what goes in the locality based on what they want and where it's at and, you know, the parameters of the application. So, any other?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the only.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my only reason for bringing it forward is I'd like it to become a part of the minutes. That's why I brought it up.
Understand. Any other comments on that issue? All right, seeing none, we'll move to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All right, no discussion. All in favor, raise your right hand. We are adjourned. Thank you. Make sure I get this to Nikki.